Hey Gemini, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique bringing you your October energy forecast. So coming into October, we are very much in Libra season, an air sister sign to you, which means that you are definitely kind of all up in the mental plane, which is your place of power anyways. Unfortunately, Mercury, your ruler, is still retrograde, is still kind of foggy, still kind of confused. So we are going to kind of enter into October, not being able to clearly define the path moving forward that we would like, and not being able to clearly communicate what it is that we actually want, need, and desire. Having this Libran energy kind of usher us into October is illuminating your fifth house. The sun and Venus, both in this fifth house of your heart chakra, is definitely doing a number to crack you wide open, to make you raw and vulnerable once again, so that you can get in touch with what actually makes you happy, what it is that you actually desire in life, and of course, open you up in a brand new way to basically be open-minded and open-hearted to new connections, to new methods, to new elements being born into your physical realm. Now, very early on in October, on the 2nd, we do have Mercury, your ruler, going direct in Virgo. So as you may know, you and Virgo energy both are ruled over by Mercury. Having Mercury in this Virgo energy does slow you down just a tad because it is an earth energy, but having Mercury go direct means we are finally getting that mental plane online. We are finally starting to put the pieces together, and because this has been illuminating your fourth house of home and family, there's definitely been a lot of home and family dynamics that have been rearranged, reorganized, restructured. Now that the chaos is kind of ensued and we are going forward with our thoughts, our ideas, with having to reorganize and restructure our home and family dynamics, we will definitely have to be paying a little bit more attention where new routines, new tasks, new chores, new roles, new responsibilities need to kind of be brought to life in order to provide you with the safety, security, and stability that likely got ripped out from under your feet since August, where the home and family dynamics are concerned. And of course, we have to come up with new ways of taking care of ourselves and those that we love, making sure that we are paying attention to the mind, to the body, to the soul equation. On the 8th, we have Pluto going direct in Capricorn energy. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and you check out the October energy forecast and subscribe to the playlist on YouTube. I do have a little bit more time to go into depth about each of these Astro events on my YouTube channel that I'm not able to cover in these mini forecasts. It will give you a bigger, broader picture on what it is that you can expect and what areas of your life it will be impacting the most. And I would just prefer that you have as much information available to you as possible. And I think that you would find that a lot of those details will be spoken about in those astro forecasts. But Pluto going direct in Capricorn energy is in the 8th house for you. The 8th house is about death, rebirth, resurrection, renewal, and at the bottom of the barrel, transformation. Now, many of my Gemini friends, because Mercury's been retrograde, because we've been at the mercy of some karmic events, we've definitely been rocked in our physical realm with karmic events and divine scripts that we have no control over. But unfortunately for us, it is time that we have to make peace with what it is that has happened and really try to kind of sort out what it is that we have to let go of, what it is that we are no longer interested in, what it is that we've outgrown, in order to create the space for new elements to actually be born. Now, Pluto, being the great transformer, is pushing us to step into our power, to take control of our lives. And in this 8th house, we are definitely seeing a lot of endings in order for brand new beginnings to actually have a space to be born into. On the 9th, we have the full moon taking place in Aries energy. This is a fire energy, and this is definitely going to bring a lot of fire to the forefront. This is going to raise a lot of frustration and irritability, even anger, because we are halfway through our astrological calendar, and because Aries energy, it is making an aspect with Chiron, the wounded healer, and we are kind of ripping open some wounds. We are kind of having to address some fears, some doubts, some insecurities that we haven't really been able to deal with head on as we've been in survival mode, just kind of getting through life at this point. Full moon in Aries is going to be a huge release, a huge purge of a lot of the anger and frustration that we've been carrying in our heart space, especially since April of this year, mostly because we've been trying to push forward. We've been trying to improve. We've been trying to jump into brand new cycles, brand new seasons for our lives. And there's been a lot of resistance, a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges that we just weren't counting on. And we feel very hopeless. We feel very powerless. And of course, that can create a lot of anger, a lot of rage. Now, the full moon in Aries is actually highlighting your 11th house. So your 11th house is about friendships, about connections, about your network, about community, and it's about your hopes and your dreams. Now, because this is a full moon and there are endings involved here, this is likely going to bring up a lot of the anger, a lot of the frustration that you have about some of the divine connections that have been removed from your life and maybe that you're struggling to make peace with. Now, keep in mind that yes, dreams may have come to an end, but again, we are moving through a cycle where we have to kind of discern what is ending in order to create the space for brand new beginnings to actually take place. On October 10th, we have Mercury, your ruler, moving into Libra energy, an air sign, a sister air sign to you. Now, this is definitely when you are going to feel the major shift in your mental plane. Yes, when Mercury first goes direct, you will be feeling a little bit of a jolt, but technically speaking, we really aren't feeling that confidence, that clarity, that directness until Mercury moves into Libran energy. Now, Mercury moving into Libra, yes, we're focused on trying to find balance, trying to find peace, trying to find harmony in our lives. But this is illuminating your 5th house of your heart chakra. Now, between the heart and the head, there is a huge disconnect, a huge gap that we're going to actively have to try and work on and compromise between in order to get this heart and head on the same page before we can engage the body and actually take physical actions to reorganize, restructure, and realign our physical realms. The 5th house wants you to really crack open that heart space to see where it is that you've accumulated some pain, some trauma in that heart space, and where it is that this pain and trauma has essentially blocked you, numbed you from not only being aligned with your heart, with your true desires, but creating a disconnect in your personal relationships and even blocking your creativity. The 5th house is asking you to bring the childlike curiosity and playfulness back into your realm, and just recognizing that the vibrations have been very low. The frequency of emotion has been very low. Of course, when you have, your world kind of be rocked in such a way that it has for my Gemini friends, it's hard to be as positive and optimistic as we need to be. But Mercury moving into Libra is definitely showing us where it is that we have to have the attitude of gratitude for the smaller things in life and really focus on what it is that actually brings us a sense of joy and a sense of happiness. On the 23rd, we have a major, major day coming at us. We have 3 different events taking place. We have Saturn going direct in Aquarius, and then we have Venus and the Sun both moving into Scorpio energy. So starting with Saturn going direct in Aquarius, first of all, the last 5 months has been a really, really tough time of strength, where tough love life lessons are concerned, where karmic and divine scripts have been playing out, and Saturn being the ruler of karma, ruler of roles and responsibilities, has definitely showed us a lesson on where it is that some boundaries need to be put in place in order for us to start honoring our own wants, needs, and desires and stop doing what we think other people are expecting of us. Many of us have learned a very tough love life lesson on where it is that we have not been honoring ourselves, where it is that we've been letting our external realm and the people in it dictate what it is that is possible for us. And now that Saturn is going direct, we are going to get a little bit of a reality check on what it is that we need to do to get back to the basics, building routines, building systems, building foundations that are actually going to support our dreams instead of supporting other people's wants, needs, and desires. Now, Saturn going direct in Aquarian energy is another air sign for my Gemini friends to tap into. There's a lot going on in the headspace, a lot going on into the intellect here. And this is going to be kind of illuminating the 9th house. There's a lot of, I'm going to say, spiritual and philosophical life lessons that have been thrown at my Gemini friends. And because of that, we haven't really had the time to sit down and process what this was trying to teach us, what it is that we were supposed to learn. But the 9th house is also trying to illuminate for us where it is that we have to trust our intuition over our intellect. And I know that's a hard thing for my Gemini friends to do because, of course, the intellect, Mercury, is your ruler. This ninth house is also showing us where it is that we have to kind of align with our intuition in order to see the greater, grander picture, the greater, grander possibilities that actually await us. This is the ninth house is also where endings and closures, where we have to come to terms with some karmic events that popped off in order for us to kind of be prepared to jump into a new cycle and to jump into new soul contracts as well. Again, on the same day, we have Venus and the Sun moving into Scorpio energy. The Scorpio energy is very deep, very dark, very much in the shadow realm of examining where it is that our deepest, darkest fears are preventing us from actually obtaining our deepest, darkest desires. Now, Venus moving into Scorpio is definitely going to get us in touch with what it is that we want to do from here, what it is we are craving in relationships, what it is that we do desire as far as connections and intimacy goes, what it is that brings us happiness and joy, and what it is that we want to pursue from here. The Sun being in Scorpio is going to shine a bright light on some hidden truths within ourselves, on what it is within us that we need to let go of, that we need to let die, in order for there to be a space for a renewal to take place, a transformation to take place, so that we can jump into something new. The Scorpio energy, being a water sign, does have the ability to help you out with your intuition, blending that with your intellect to make the best informed decisions. And it is also very creative, kind of giving you a boost back in order to get in alignment with your creative juices once again, and to allow that to flow, being a water sign, a lot easier in your life in order for you to see where it is that the changes need to be made first and foremost. The Scorpio energy is illuminating your sixth house, and your sixth house is your day-to-day life. It is the tasks and the chores that, kind of consume the mundane part of your life, where it is that you need to be a little bit more present, even doing those tasks and chores. It is really a huge focus on your mental health, on the inner narrative that you're allowing to loop as you run through the day-to-day. It is examining where new health and wellness routines, diets, exercise routines need to be implemented, not only to take care of your physical body, but to give you a time out to actually focus on bettering yourself. Now, the sixth house is also where it is that we are of service to other people before being of service to ourselves. And this does kind of speak of you trying to distract yourself with other people's problems so that you don't have to focus on yours. The sixth house is asking us to kind of get down to the basics on rearranging our day-to-day lives and what it is that we're focused on, because the smaller details in life actually create the bigger, greater, grander picture. And we have a lot of dreams, we have a lot of visions and goals that we're currently trying to bring to life. And the starting point to that is making sure that we are flowing through our day-to-day life with the right focus, with the right narrative, with the right energy, with the right type of supports put into place in order to provide us with the foundation, the safety, the security that we need in order to take care of ourselves while we're constantly pushing ourselves to be better and to go after different dreams and visions. On the 25th, we have the new moon solar eclipse taking place at 2 degrees in Scorpio. The Scorpio energy is also illuminating your sixth house. So go back to the fall of 2021 when there was likely a little bit of craziness, a little bit of chaos taking place in your day-to-day life, where things got flipped upside down, where there needed to be new routines, new I'm going to say systems put into place in order for you to float through the run of your day and actually be taking care of yourself while taking care of other people. Now, if we go back to May of 2022, there was likely a little bit of chaos and craziness that kind of impacted your health and wellness, especially your mental health at that particular time. Well, this eclipse energy is kind of continuation of that particular life lesson, but lucky for us, a solar eclipse usually gifts us with something. It rewards us for our pain, our suffering, for our efforts. So you will likely see a positive shift, not only in your mental plane, but in your day-to-day life. There is something, maybe a person, maybe a new routine, maybe a new exercise exercise regimen coming into play, where you are going to be putting your health and wellness back at the top of the list, especially where your mental health is concerned. We do need to pay attention to get that back to a state of wholeness. And before you go ahead and start kind of wearing yourself thin and trying to bring new elements to life once again. On the 28th, we have Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, blessings, and abundance, going retrograde back into Pisces energy. So Pisces energy, being a water sign, does have the ability to really help you heal a lot of the wounds, a lot of the pain, a lot of the suffering, a lot of the trauma that likely took place through 2021. And this Pisces energy is illuminating your 10th house. And many of my Gemini friends struggled with the career aspect where the 10th house kind of rules over through 2021. Many of my Gemini friends kind of got bored with what it is that they were doing, wanted a new mission, wanted a new purpose, and really kind of were torn on what it is that they should be doing in life. A lot of my Gemini friends got stuck in particular jobs because of the financial stability and security that they offered, even though they were no longer in alignment with that particular industry, with that particular role or responsibility. Now, Jupiter going back into Pisces is going to act as a renewal, as a refresher for us, because we get to reconnect to our higher selves and really dive back into the spiritual realm of our truest dreams, of our truest desires. Jupiter going retrograde in Pisces is not only acting as a reflective point on the journey that you've gone through, the ups and downs that you've had to kind of tough out through this career and roles and responsibilities aspect, but this is also a little bit of karma coming into play. So you may find that there is a divine script playing out, a karmic opportunity being offered to you to level up in your job, or maybe you're getting a little bit more of a financial advancement in your career. Either way, I feel like you will be realigned, recalibrated, and refreshed with the want, need, and desire that you had been lacking through 2021, where your job and career is actually concerned. On the 29th, we have Mercury, your ruler, on the move again, this time jumping into Scorpio energy. And of course, this will be illuminating your 6th house. This is truly when you're going to be able to implement some of the ideas that you've been kind of debating between on what it is that needs to change in the run of your day-to-day tasks and chores. This is also a great time to be a little bit more communicative with some of the emotions, some of the thoughts that you've been kind of bouncing around within you and not knowing how to articulate and actually communicate to the people that need to hear it. Mercury being in Scorpio energy is super deep, super transformative, highly emotional, but it does get us kind of reconnected with ourselves, with what it is that our mission or purpose needs to be, and what it is that actually kind of makes us excited, makes us passionate again, and what it is that we actually truly desire. Again, this is more of a focus on where it is that we can bring more happiness and joy into our day-to-day lives and contribute in the run of our day-to-day to the greater, grander picture, to the dream, to the vision, to the goal that we're currently desiring to actually manifest. But it all does start in the mental plane, and it all does start with how it is that we run through our day-to-day tasks and chores. Lastly, on the 30th, we have Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, going retrograde in Gemini, in your sign. I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be tough from now till March of 2023 with Mars in your sign. Mars is aggressive, he's angry, he's frustrated, mostly because he's not able to move ahead as fast as he would like, mostly because he's been blocked and really had to face a lot of tough love life lessons and trying to bring new ideas, new versions of ourselves to life. Now, because Mars is in your sign, illuminating your first house of self, this is likely going to do a couple of things to you. First of all, it is going to anger you and frustrate you that you're not able to implement the kind of ideas and the kind of changes that you want in the time frame that you were hoping for. Because Mars in retrograde takes all of that energy and internalizes it, we're really going to have to take a good look at our mental health. We're really going to have to take a good look at our fears, our phobias, what it is that's actually blocking us in moving forward. And once Mars actually comes out of the retrograde, that fire energy. That anger and frustration will eventually be turned into inspiration and motivation, where nothing is going to be able to stop you. Let me just give you a little bit of a bigger, broader picture here. By the time Mars is moving out of your sign in March of 2023, prior to your birthday, you will kind of be in a brand new clean slate, starting a brand new 2-year cycle where you are inspired and motivated and determined to go after a brand new path, especially bringing this new version of yourself to life, and how it is that you're actually able to pursue what it is that makes you happy, and what it is that your heart is kind of activating you with new passions and with new desires. So some of the messages that I would like for you to focus on as you move throughout the month of October is really kind of considering where it is that you want to go from here. Now, you've done a lot of work as far as trying to stabilize some of the chaos in your life. And again, we can thank 6 planets being in a retrograde for that craziness. But you're really kind of being asked with to get very serious with some of the opportunities and some of the possibilities that you want to pursue from here. It's almost as if you, again, have grown a little bit bored and a little bit discontent with some of the elements in your life, and having some of the karmic events being thrown at you, forcing you to restructure and redesign and reorganize your life, is really giving you an opportunity to work with a blank canvas here, especially with what it is that you are excited about, what it is that you're passionate about, what it is that you truly desire to kind of achieve from here. It is going to take you probably the middle of the month before you're going to be thinking as clearly as you need to be thinking. But this is kind of a clean slate for you to kind of get in alignment with new goals, new visions, new dreams. I feel like, especially after Mercury moves into Libran energy, you're going to be able to kind of get your heart and your head on the same page and really kind of activate the new ideas, the new visions, the new goals that you actually want to bring to life. I feel like it would be a prime opportunity for you, especially coming into the month, just to take a time out and continue to reflect, because again, Mercury being your ruler and coming out of a retrograde is going to need a little bit of time in order to get up to speed, taking us up to the 17th of this month before we're actually in brand new territory. So take this time to reflect back to the end of August and all that has kind of taken place and all that has transpired, and really let yourself process the details of those particular situations, so that you're not having your unconscious self block you and kind of trigger you with repressed memories coming up just as you are getting started in trying to bring some visions and trying to bring some ideas to life. This is very important for you to get a clear vision on what it is that you want to do from here, but a lot of those answers are only going to be found by reflecting back over all that has transpired and getting your heart and your head in alignment. So Gemini, that's all that I have for you for the month of October. I hope you have a great month, and we'll talk to you soon.